Welcome to the Seraphine podcast. I'm Seraphine Arocha, and today we are with one of my favorite couples. We're with Harrison Quinn and his wife, Kyrie Quinn. Hello.
Hi.
I mean, we have an interesting relationship. If you've watched the other two episodes, you might have figured out that we've known each other since Lawrence, and not because I went to college there. That is a whole nother story. But we've kind of come full circle from the days at the Cave, which is a bar in Lawrence where literally it is in a freaking cave.
4 floors down.
Oh my gosh. To being able to hang out and even travel together. So, you know, I'm so happy for the friendship that we have. And even though there's an age difference, and I want to talk a little bit about that because ageism sucks. It so sucks right now at 43 doing a podcast. And like, I like to dress fashionable. I like to have fun, and I like to, you know, be a little loud, and people are like, you're 43, you should be, you know,
living life,
retired.
Yeah.
So ageism for you two, like in your work as a couple, I mean, being taken seriously, like talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, I think the interesting part is, you know, we're in the Midwest, and so I think we grew up, and you know, you a little bit as well, to where you're expected right after university to get married, have 12 kids, white picket fence, you know, all that good stuff. And it's fine if that's, you know, your path. But I think that with the access to information and everything happening and changing, that, you know, people are breaking that stereotype, which is great. But still here in the Midwest and the industry that I work in, finance, it's tough for people to look at me and say, you're going to manage my money, manage my finances, you know, take care of me for retirement, when you know, their dad, their granddad all worked with super old white dudes who all wore like, you know, way too baggy of suits and did not look good doing it. And then, you know, us being married amongst our millennial friends, I feel like is early.
Yeah, but we also have friends. I mean, we joke about it. We hang out with people who are 60, 40. I mean, we just don't care how old you are. I mean, if you're a good time, you're a good time, and that doesn't even matter to us.
It's cool because, you know, I actually watched the video of your wedding, and because, you know, you guys couldn't have a big wedding,
right?
And you know, it was cool to see even in your wedding, like this diverse, cool group, and then, you know, I've had the privilege of meeting the people around you, and they're good folks.
Yeah.
So, you know, as a couple, like when you met, I mean, what was your first impression of him?
Oh my God. Well, first of all, he was shirtless. He was a bartender.
That's not true.
Oh
and
my God.
he was charging girls to take body shots off of him. Okay. And like something
I wasn't
inside
charging
of me,
them. I wasn't charging them.
Yeah, you are.
The establishment of where I was
Business.
working was charging
Right.
them. Okay, perfect.
But I saw him and I should have run the other way, and I was like, oh, okay, he's cute. I've never seen you. And I mean, I loved it because I knew nothing about him.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh my God, tell me about you. Like, where are you from? And he was like, I'm from Colorado. I'm like, I'm a cheerleader. And so of course that night I go home and I'm like, cheerleader, his name's Harrison. I'm like, damn it, he lied to me.
Okay, tiny backstory. So I was attending Colorado State University online because
I love it.
Because they had one of the best online universities, and when I was living in New York, I was trying to keep up with some classes, which I don't know why. And the day one at KU, I got recruited to be a cheerleader, and so I was a cheerleader, and I was, you know, taking classes.
I kind of love this though, but it so goes into his podcast of not having a huge, like, he didn't go to school for finance,
Right. Yeah.
But you speak it into existence, and now you're doing well, my friend. You can't bullshit that. And whether it's Colorado online, I mean, it does sound a lot cooler to be like, no one wants to be like,
okay, well, at the
With
nightclub,
the long hair, I was like,
at the nightclub shirtless, I'm not going to say online or glow like
that would have
Phoenix.
been
online.
even
Come
better.
on.
Are you
can
kidding?
you imagine? I
Yeah.
love it. And then I want to know, like, seriously, I mean, let alone that she's like this strikingly beautiful woman, but like, what were your impressions of her when you first met her?
Well, I mean, yeah, she stuck out for sure. But the thing was, like, for my roommate and I who were bartending together, it was just always a bunch of females and getting a bunch of numbers every night and not calling them back. But the funny part was she was the only number I ever texted, you know. And
immediately he texted me. Like, I just left the bar, and he goes, "Come back. We're about to do Pony on the bar again." You know, like the genuine, like,
ride it, my pony.
Like Magic Mike.
Seriously, edit this out.
I love it.
And I was like, hard pass, Mr. Cheerleader. I'm good.
So she saw me 5 minutes later.
You know, the thing that I do love about this is that we all have had our ride at my pony days, because let me tell you, when I was a pole dancing instructor, but I'll say that for another podcast.
Yes.
But you know, we all have those stories, and I'm sure you've got a few little demons in your closet.
Don't you worry, I do.
I mean, I know you, like, it's funny because I do believe that the more demons you have in your closet and the more you get your shit together, the more you're like, I don't need to tell those stories all the time. They're fun.
Yeah.
But then you go to the people who aren't moving and shaking in life, and those are the only stories they have.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like that person in high school is like, you remember that one time that we were dancing to my pony? And you're like, Jesus Christ, don't tell this freaking story. You know, but in the next breath, it's nice to know that you've got that in you guys, because we do become so freaking controlled.
Oh, yeah.
But you guys have got these huge hearts too, because, you know, I think about your generosity and the reciprocation, even just on, you know, when you go out with a couple and it's like, you get the check, I get the check. But then on top of it, the more I started to dig into you guys get involved with philanthropy. And I know that it feels like, you know, that, you know, when you talk about it, you kind of feel like a jerk about it.
Yeah.
But in the next breath, it needs to be done. People need to get involved, and they need to help people if they're in a position to help.
Totally.
For sure.
So how did you first kind of get into it? Because I think, you know, from what I learned is you kind of like introduced Kyrie to, like, you know, your world. And she was like, wait a second.
Yeah. So I partnered with an organization based in the States, but has a really big presence in Ethiopia. Mm-hmm. And so I've been on a few service missions there, you know, actually being able to, you know, serve the individuals in the communities there. And we went, she came with me on the last one, my wife.
Yes.
And that has just, you know, turned into a lot of cool and different opportunities to, you know, find different ways to help. I'm doing some inner city talks, like, for finance. And just trying to leverage, like, the skill set and the professional side to enhance and, you know, better the communities in the world, because everybody needs help. And the fact that we live in the United States, you know, we have a huge up on everyone else, and so we should be able to, you know, reach down and help people out.
That's the thing that I love, is that knowledge is power, and why do you want to collect it and keep it all to yourself?
Right.
And I mean, look at the reverb, like, of the strum of the guitar of you bringing her. And then you and I had a conversation yesterday off mic of just about philanthropy, about organizations that I love, like Angel Hearts, and Wayside, and we were having conversations about, like, you know, there's fundraising, and you're like, yeah, I love that, but I want to be in my boots on the ground, you know, and what it takes. So what's like, when you had that experience with him, what happened? What happened to you? Your heart.
I am such an emotional person, and I met one little boy, and he just had an insane story, and I just sat there, and, you know, I, like, just couldn't help but sob, and I was just like, dang, like, how can I go about my life and just, like, fly by and think, you know, my worries are the world. And after that, it was our first day on the trip, and I was like, I have to change my life, like, something I do about my life. And then, you know, we have a dog that is, like, my world. And just, you know, seeing homeless animals or abused animals, you know, with Instagram, you can scroll and they somehow pop up because you like a cute dog.
It rattles your freaking cage.
Oh my, I will be driving and I, like, get a glimpse of a video I pass by, and I'm just like, oh my God, I have to do something.
Well, and thank God, because you know what? I think I'm always so on the fence with social media. I obviously have a podcast because, to me, words have meaning and action have meaning, and quoting someone and putting a picture, it actually irritates me because I'm like, what am I actually doing other than reposting someone else's picture?
What's the action point?
Totally. So it's actually great to hear that people who are out there and we're not just scrolling through celebrity and fashion, but then something hits us and we're like, oh my God, I'm pausing. And what the hell am I doing about it?
I have to do something about it because I feel terrible not.
Yeah.
And it haunts you. I mean, like, even with the cold weather, you're like, I'm sitting there looking out my window and I'm like, how many dogs can I collect and bring home with me?
Totally.
I mean, it's
your eyes are open, and it's really cool to have a partner in crime.
Yeah.
That allows you, because, you know, you both are doing super, like, you have big jobs. You have a lot of work, but then it's like, how do I get that energy to do more outside of just my day-to-day work? And then the job I do, how can I actually help other people with it? And I see you guys.
Well, and I actually think that they feed off of each other.
Yeah.
And to where people think that there's not enough time, and your actions drive priorities. To where, you know, if you let your heart head this way, you know, and you take action, then it drives those priorities, and then your life just kind of forms around those different things. So whether it's your job or your company or
friends, I mean, you and I, we talked about it for a long time, and our friendship will probably make things spring into action because of it.
It's exciting. I hate this because, you know, I have a podcast and I have batteries, and I actually have a crew of people that work with me, and like the batteries are running out, and we're all together and we're like having this really connective moment. And I do have to call the episode now, and I have so much that I want to talk to you guys about, and I want you guys back.
Another time, more batteries.
It's going to be more batteries, and it's cool to have like-mindedness, and the people behind the camera. Thank you, because you guys are like powerhouses at allowing us to have these conversations, because it takes work to do anything in this life.
Absolutely.
And it takes dedication.
Especially anything good.
Right?
Especially anything good.
Exactly. And you two are an amazing couple, and I'm so glad to call you my friends, and I can't wait to see what you guys do together. And I can't wait to see what me, Johnny, you, the whole collective.
I know, I love it.
It's power in numbers, right?
Likewise. Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us here on the Seraphiend podcast. Please click like, subscribe. And as always, thank you for your time.